Hello, everybody. Now, my greetings to you, all of you, especially Nigerians. I'm back to you today. My charge to Nigeria and Nigerians. Today, I want to say kudos to the Lagos State Governor, Mr. Sanwo-Olu, and the Lagos State government in general for the ban of Okada and tricycles in Lagos, in most regions of Lagos. This is a major victory. This is just the first, from what I'm seeing, I'm looking into the future and I'm seeing that this is the first step in sanitizing Lagos. Lagos must be sanitized. And somebody will say, wow, you are, you don't have sympathy, you don't have empathy for people, you are wicked. How can you say that? Because people are hungry, people have families, people need to feed their children and things like that. Listen, yes, that is all true, but if the state and the city of Lagos is made unworkable and unlivable, if it's, lack of order, if it's run out of order, there will be no job still, both for these people and even for the rest of the Lagos population. Most of the people who are now criticizing the Lagos state government and who are protecting the Okada drivers' rights to, keep on piling their trade in Lagos, they are looking at it from one aspect. But if you want to look at it holistically, you will see that the most important thing that is needed in Nigeria as a whole, and in Lagos in particular, to turn it from the worst state the worst city in the world. Because right now, Lagos is about the worst city to live in the whole world. To turn it from the worst city to a workable city, it must be organized. Lagos must be reorganized and it must be structured. And when I was growing up, and in the 80s and in the 70s in Nigeria, there was nothing like Okada in Lagos. Even in the 90s, there was nothing like Okada in Lagos. But the introduction of Okada, maybe in the 90s, into Lagos, it changed the whole face of the city. The city was already crazy, but with Okada and all those tricycles and motorcycles, it just make everything worse, especially when you use them like transportation. Now, there were motorcycles before then, but they were not being used like mass transportation like now. And I saw most of the people who are defending and fighting for this policy to be removed and for the Okada drivers to come back are either people who are, complaining, suffering because they cannot get from one point to the other, but you are looking at, there is an adage that says, when you cry, don't close your eyes. When you are in pain and you are weeping, don't let your eyes be closed, because the pain of the hour could force you to be so sorrowful that the thing is affecting you so hard that your eyes are closed. You can't see direction anymore. You can't see perspective. And that's what I'm saying. People are responding because it's paining them. But you remove yourself from that pain. You remove yourself from that hardship that you are encountering right now to look into the future, into the general picture of what the state government wants to present. They want to build a more sane society for you. And I'm sure that even as I'm talking now, some suspicious Nigerians who are always suspicious and are always, thinking evil of other people will say, I've been bribed by the Lagos state government or by the government. They are giving me money and they have taught me or they have told me to say what I'm saying. No, I don't know anybody there. And if you have been watching my videos, you will know that I've criticized this Sanwo-Olu and the Lagos state government on more than one occasion. All right, so I've criticized them, but when they are doing what is right, they must also be commended. Now, they want to reduce the rate of death in the roads. They want it to reduce the accidents in the road. They want to reduce robbery incidents in the road. But even more than that, a megapolis, any megapolis in the world, apart from in Africa, show me any megapolis, any major city that has Okada or motorcycle drivers. Today I saw one. Maybe he's an American or he's Indian. He looks Indian, but his accent was American accent. But he's one of the operators or the owners of this Okada driver organization. I forgot what the name of his company was. And he was complaining that, I want to serve the people. We came to Nigeria. Go and do that in New York. Go and introduce Okada to New York now. Go and introduce Okada to the country where you come from. Or tricycle. It is primitiveness to have Okada and tricycle riding about everywhere. It's a shame of a country. We need to get those things out of our roads, not just out of Lagos, but out of every major city. If you want to build a decent future, your children shouldn't be growing up with the incidents. Growing up with tricycles and motorcycles in their psyche. They shouldn't be growing up in an environment that is full of all the noise and the horns and the jacking and the running about of by motorcycle. Children shouldn't be growing. They will never be normal children when they grow up. Even our women shouldn't be sitting on that motorcycle and holding men, drivers and boys everywhere. That's why they are being raped and they are being insulted. And these things are shameful. The fact that we have descended to the level of tolerating this Okada, doesn't mean that it has become it is normal. Maybe it is the need that has forced the nation and the city of Lagos to now enjoy it. But I remember the first time the Okada was introduced, most people at that time, they were saying that they would never ride Okada. Especially the men were saying they would never allow their wives to ride Okada. And women too were saying they would never ride Okada. It was looked down at as something that is shameful to be used, especially by decent people and average people and middle class people. But now, I even heard elites talking on television saying, they were late to work because they couldn't get Okada. I was shocked that even respected men and women now are now taking, being happy or are now happy that they are taking Okada because life has reduced you almost to an animal level. Doesn't mean that you should embrace that status and say, now we are animals, so we should just be proud of it. We are all animals. So because everybody is doing it, doesn't mean that it's okay. Because everybody is riding Okada and it has become popular in Nigeria. It has become the face of a poor, wretched country. A poor, a degraded, a devalued, a humiliated nation. It is a Okada riding and as taxi is a symbol of shame. It's a symbol of our failure. When in the 70s Nigeria was doing well, nothing like that. When in the 80s Nigeria was doing well, nothing like that. It's a shame that we have to resolve to using Okada in the city that is called the city of excellence. It's a shame that we have been reduced to that level. It's a shame. Come to Europe and show me any city or any town that is going to be using Okada as, taxi drivers. And then respected women will be, spreading their legs and, putting it behind some men, some young boys over there. It's something that shouldn't even be tolerated for one day in the first place. And now that they want to put sanity to it, even respected people are calling on government to restore it. When will you be normal? When will your country become civilized? When will you become normal country? When will you begin to build it? And the fact that they have put the situation in the country, the economic situation in the country, the poverty in the land has reduced us to less than human standard of living, doesn't mean that we have to submit to that and, succumb ourselves to it and say, well, that is where we found ourselves. We should remain there. Never remain where life has put you. Revolt against it. Demand better life and better structure, better system for yourself and for your children. It should be a shame for us that we should allow our children to be seeing those things, and we think it's normal. Go and look at the world and see the way the world is living, for you to know that Okada riding as taxi is a shameful thing. It's a disgrace. I mean, and these same Nigerians of my age, I'm 53 now, and people of my age, when the Okada started in Lagos, they were laughing at it. They were making jest of it. They were thinking it's wrong. It was wrong. But now all of them are now, they just got used to it, because human being can get used to anything. Which they should get rid of Okada, and they should get rid of Molue too. Now, it's another thing that people have, there is another argument, of course, that the government, even though I'm saying kudos to them, but of course they too are senseless. They too don't have, they don't have foresight. Because how can you ban Okada without providing alternatives? They too are non-sensitive. They said, the law has been there for all these years. The law has been there. So that shows that you had all those years, 3 years or 6 years, to have prepared the country, the city for it. You should have prepared the city by providing alternative transportation systems. The metro, the underground, the tube, the ferries and things like that. You should have provided alternatives rather than just coming to enforce something with leaving people stranded. But the policy itself is good, but it's just senseless, brainless individuals that didn't think of taking care of the needs of people first before introducing it. That is where the problem is. But you advanced, civilized people of Lagos, please stop beating the hands of this government. Criticize them for what they are doing wrong, in the sense that they didn't make the provision. But don't let them cancel this policy, please. And that is not the only policy that needs to be introduced in Lagos. They must introduce registration. I've already done a video on that there must be a compulsory registration of all residents of Lagos State. And also they must remove all the Molues from Lagos. And then they must introduce pedestrians again. Pedestrian roads and bridges and things like that. And then the population of Lagos must be reduced to less than 10 million by all means. Otherwise, even if the city keeps on going like this, it doesn't matter what resources, it doesn't matter how much ideas you have, it doesn't matter how much money you pour into the place. It will never make sense. You will never make sense of Lagos until you begin to reduce the number drastically. And the only way to do that is to introduce registration. Well, let's see a video that explains the sense or the logic behind what they are doing. I think it is the governor himself who was talking in this video, Dr. Governor Sawolu. Please go ahead and show.
We're restricting them from taking passengers on top of bridges and on highways. And some of the reasons we found is, apart from the high level of recklessness that we see, they've cost us so much pain. There's been several deaths. There's been several accidents, there's been several crimes committed by them. And the government has an existing law about 6 years ago where they were banned as well. So it's that same law that we're bringing back to say that we want to enforce that law. So it's not that we're banning them all over the whole state, but in some places.
They don't even use leg, they will use their bike. Exactly. Why are they using leg?
All right,
they must have kept this one.
Of course, that is demonstration, people demonstrating against it. And that is another thing that the government was supposed to think about. What about these people that are going to lose their job? Let's create a job-seeking center. Let's have a bureau of employment. Let's get all of them registered. Let's begin to propose to companies, individuals, and their services. Let's turn around those motorcycles and come up with a creative, alternative, and find a way of, turning those motorcycles into businesses, other business ventures that will, maybe the companies could use to do delivery or courier or something like that. So that, just let's come up with alternative for people so that people will not suffer. So that is another thing that the government was supposed to have thought about before now. They were supposed to have registered all the 270,000 people who are doing that Okada business and have begin to agree with them for alternative jobs before introducing and enforcing the law. Then this other guy that I was talking about, the Indian or American guy that is talking about how good he is, how you are so good, right? It's not just about business. That's why you came over to Nigeria to live. It's not just about business. And now they want to stop it and you are crying foul. You love the people so much. If you love the people so much, then create an alternative way to serve the people. If you really want to serve the people, let's create an alternative way to serve the people. Turn your thousands or hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of Okada motorcycles, turn them to taxis. So why should you create nuisance just because you want to help people? Turn it to taxi. So instead of one Okada to carry one passenger on Okada, you have a taxi, a car taxi, will be able to carry 3, 4. So it's the same thing. You'll still be able to make your money. But sell the Okadas and turn them to cars. And that will see ease the burden of transportation in Lagos. If you really want to help the people, if you're just taking you by your word. Well, I think I've said my own for today. For the love of God, church and nation, peace. Sunday Adelaja here. If you believe in nation building principles, please like this video, share it with your friends, and let's change our nations together.